Hey guys, what's going on? Memes here. So just to do a quick little weekly wrap up, let's see what we got going on for a couple of stories that I figured were worth covering. Basically the first two primaries within the nation, along with updates on the coronavirus. So let's take a quick look. As we all know, this past Tuesday was the New Hampshire primary, and with 100% reporting shortly thereafter of it actually taking place, we can see Senator Bernie Sanders has taken first place there with 25.7% of the vote, followed up by Mayor Pete as well with 24.4%, so that means they split 9 delegates apiece, followed up by Senator Amy Klobuchar, along with my Senator Elizabeth Warren, Vice President Biden, Tom Steyer, Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Deval Patrick, Michael Bennet, Cory Booker, Joe Sestak, Kamala Harris, Marianne Williamson, Steve Burke, John Delaney, Julian Castro, Robbie Wells, Tom Coos, Mike. Oh, I guess a lot of these folks just put themselves in there and get a couple dozen votes. Hey, you're on the list. There you go. I guess you made it. But yeah, but I think what we're seeing right here is Senator Sanders. It does appear that he had received the most votes over there, as well in Iowa, as well. Which oh by the way, yeah, we have the results. So as we can see, the way it ended up playing out is basically you have people vote, and depending on the number of district sites, I think there's around 1,700 or so in Iowa over there. Basically, whoever wins a percentage of those, they end up getting a percentage of the delegates. So since there were, I guess, apparently some ties, there were some coin flips, Mayor Pete ended up eking out an additional delegate as well. But they're right there at 26.2 and 26.1% respectively. As you can see from the actual precincts, it was 564 to 562. Couple of coin tosses depending on how it goes. Hey, Mayor Pete is your winner there. But what's actually interesting is there were some going on during the day and some observations, and a lot of these kind of align from folks that I have spoken to on the ground in New Hampshire, either over the past week, over the past several years as well. The first thing here I did want to bring up here is a man was charged with slapping a teenage Trump supporter outside New Hampshire primary polling place. And as we can see here, Patrick Bradley was taken into custody on Thursday afternoon, charged with 3 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disorderly conduct. So essentially, as far as I understand, he came out of a polling station. He happened to see some individuals with, I believe it was Donald Trump Jr. at the time there. They were taking some photos. And basically, dude, man, just kind of goes up and slaps the kid. It's like, what are you doing? So, as we can see, as he passed the tent, police said he slapped 15-year-old across the face and then assaulted 2 other adults who attempted to intercede. He was also accused of throwing Trump campaign signs and attempting to knock over the tent. Bradley is being held at Rockingham County Court Jail on $5,000 bail, as well as administrative hold for a probation violation, according to police. He's expected to be arraigned Friday, which was yesterday. Here's the thing. You don't start violence. You don't start nothing. You don't get nothing. Come on, dude. You gotta be able to regulate your emotions. We live in a civilized society. And this is the thing. You gotta call it out wherever it is. That's the thing. Are there always other things there as well? But you slapped a 15-year-old kid. You're in your 30s, man. Come on. We can do better. Along with this over here as well, this is an article brought to us by Vox. And it seems Bernie Sanders has got more young voters in New Hampshire than everyone else combined. That's the thing. He's hitting home. Just because a lot of folks I've talked to and I've worked with in Manchester before, all these folks get out of school, they got tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and everything. Free college and loan forgiveness sounds pretty dang good, because this can be crushing for folks. I've been incredibly blessed in my time. I've had some wealthy family members that have helped me out. I did also go to state school, so that probably also helped. But it's one of those things. To not have that hanging over your head, it's just, that makes a huge difference and something that resonates. I mean, go figure. A 78-year-old independent senator from the great state of Vermont is resonating with people. I mean, does this make sense? I mean, like, if you follow Bernie Sanders' career, it's like, no, I understand why, but just based upon that framing, you're like, nutty? What's going on here? But this is endemic to something else, and this is actually brought to us by CBS News. So the New Hampshire primary, more Republicans who voted in primary feel greater allegiance to Trump than party. This is something that I kind of took away from some folks I was speaking to in line for the Trump rally the other night, which we happened to be part of the overflow amount, but hey, got a chance to speak with a nice young gentleman over there that was protesting, so we'll bring you folks some on-the-ground coverage there. But a lot of the things there were a lot of folks that did have Make America Great Again hats, Keep America Great hats. There were a lot of folks. It just kind of seems like a bit of, I don't like to say really a cult of personality, but I don't really have any better words for it. A lot of folks, it's just, I'll share a quick story I had from a gentleman I used to work with. So himself and his wife, they happen to own a small business. And he's like, I'm doing better than before. He's like, my paycheck is going up and everything. He's like, and we're going to vote Trump in for another 4 years, and then his son after that. I'm just like, whoa. It's kind of sounding like a dynasty there. It's like, kind of started getting away with that. But it's the sheer fact that it's like, there's many folks out there that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah, has there been recovery? Are there a lot of folks doing well out there? Absolutely. But it wasn't seen everywhere, and still isn't being seen everywhere. And that, I think, is one of Trump's weaknesses. That's the thing. If the president doesn't acknowledge that there's still work to be done, that's the thing. Folks just want to feel like there's somebody out there that's a voice, that's fighting for them. I don't got to agree with everything the dude said. And I'm pretty sure the same individual at one point or another, he's like, yeah, Donald Trump is an a-hole. Like, oh, thank you. It's like, I think we know this, but last time I checked, being an a-hole wasn't a crime. That's the thing. I do think we can do better. I think a lot of these things could be done another way, but fortunately the president really hasn't had reason not to do that. And if we just kind of look over the polls real quick, you look at this. This is for New Hampshire Republican primary voters. Feel more allegiance to Donald Trump, 55%, Republican Party, 39%. So that's the thing. It's like we seem to be getting behind candidates rather than the party a lot. You see this with a lot of the youth vote for Senator Sanders as well. So this is something that we need to pay attention to, because it's like people are responding. So the last thing I did want to kind of touch on is the updates on the coronavirus. And as we all know, we now have confirmed tens of thousands of cases. So this article is brought to us by CNBC. The White House doesn't trust China's coronavirus numbers. Here's why. There could be a number of reasons. Again, you have the whole state security aspect. You have the whole, we don't want to terrify the world. It could be a cover-up. Who knows? It could be an amalgamation, because anytime you're dealing with a huge bureaucracy, yeah, anyone that's ever played a game of telephone in the 6th grade, we all know that, messages can change, and the more calls you have, often the data may get skewed for a number of reasons. Let's just take a quick look at this. So as we know, the coronavirus that emerged from China's Hubei province over a month ago has spread to 24 countries. It's already fueling mistrust from the U.S. government and whether China can provide accurate information. The U.S. mistrust of China goes as far back as the 1950s, when national authorities set unrealistic production quotas that led local officials to inflate the data. Because we all know, if everyone wants to basically collect their salary and get yelled at as little as possible. If you happen to be in some of these different countries under certain regimes, you may also want to keep your life. That's all I'm saying there. We need to learn from the mistakes of the past. Okay. But, so what do we know? Basically, the White House said this week that it does not have high confidence in the information coming out of China regarding the count of coronavirus cases, a senior administration official told CNBC. Meanwhile, China has reportedly been reluctant to accept help from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, has reportedly suppressed information about the outbreak from scientists that it deems alarming. Here's the thing. This does kind of feed into the whole quote-unquote conspiracy theory that this could have been something that maybe escaped a lab. There are other things here that also give cause for concern, either that or alleviate some of it with the greatness of technology. But let's go out a bit here. So basically, just touch upon the WHO's, the World Health Organization, led a team of 12 international experts are expected to arrive in China this weekend, so basically any time from now onward, to collaborate with Chinese counterparts. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, apologies if I butchered your name, said Friday, but praise from WHO has not kept top U.S. officials from criticizing China's handling of the outbreak. On Thursday, White House top economic advisor Larry Kudlow told reporters the U.S. is quite disappointed, citing a lack of transparency. Such criticism is far from new. Now, a lot of this comes from basically having the SARS outbreak and everything. As we can see, at the time, Chinese government was accused of trying to cover up the outbreak of severe acute respiratory syndrome, more commonly known as SARS, which rapidly spread to more than 24 countries and caused World Health officials to declare it a global health threat. The flu-like virus, which produces symptoms such as fever, cough, chills, and fatigue, had never been seen before, and the management delays from the government was blamed by world leaders for the rapid spread of the disease, Huang said. So that's the thing. If we're not getting information, it could be because has the information been confirmed? Do they necessarily put everything out there? If you put something out there, somebody interprets it a particular way. If you cause a panic, did sharing that information make things better? Did it make it worse? So this is one of those things where it's like hindsight will always be 20/20, but due to the infectious nature and the potential up to 24-day incubation period, and if it is contagious, I do think a lot of these numbers we're seeing where over half the population of the planet could be infected, that does seem highly concerning as well. But then again, we also go into the other reasons why the White House may mistrust them, being currency manipulator. A lot of it, they seem to fix the textbook definition about 15 years ago. Now, do they still do? Yeah, probably here and there, but is it as clear cut before? I believe the president did have them issued as a currency manipulator for a short period of time before it was removed. Why was that? Well, we're also signing a trade deal, so it's one of those things. One of the things the president said he was going to do, and he's got a trade deal there. All right. As well as just the standard economic data from China. But here's a couple other things here. Okay. So this is brought to us from MBR. This is how COVID-19, which is the novel coronavirus from 2019. So COVID-19 is the official name. It kills. And this is actually highly concerning. So we've had upwards of, depending on the articles, last I saw was about 64,000 confirmed. A lot of times, standard respiratory illness symptoms, fever, dry cough, shortness of breath. So could just be just a standard flu. Okay. But the thing is, there does seem to be a discrepancy here. And basically what we see here is the new coronavirus attacks the lungs. And in about 20% of patients, the infections can get more serious. As the virus enters the lung cells, it starts to replicate, destroying the cells, explains Dr. Yoko Furuya, an infectious disease specialist at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Here's the thing. And because our body senses all these viruses as basically foreign invaders, that triggers our immune system to sweep in and try to contain and control the virus and stop it from making more and more copies of itself. So here's the thing. In some folks, basically when it's getting into their lungs, it seems to just work in an accelerated way, and it's basically destroying the lining of your lungs. If all of a sudden one of the major systems within your body starts to break down, that's usually not a good day at all. That's the thing. And apparently in some folks, this has led to just mass organ failure as well. So according to one of these individuals here, Del Rio says that these symptoms can also make it hard for the lungs to get oxygen to your blood, potentially triggering a cascade of problems. The lack of oxygen leads to more inflammation, more problems in the body. Organs need oxygen to function right, so when you don't have oxygen there, your liver dies and your kidneys die. That's not a good thing. You kind of need those things to live. Yeah, maybe you could do some sort of dialysis, this or that, but that's the thing. If this happens very quickly, that would explain why we're seeing rates far higher than your standard flu. Standard flu has what, like about a 0.1% mortality rate? This is roughly about 2%. That's a significant function for it as well, but there is good news. There is good news. This is brought to us by Yahoo Finance here. California lab says it discovered coronavirus vaccine in 3 hours. This is amazingly and terrifying at the same time. So let's just delve into it real quick. So apparently an American biotech company says it created a coronavirus vaccine 3 hours after getting access to the virus's genetic sequence on January 9th, and now scientists are racing to get the vaccine to market in record time. Invonio Pharmaceuticals is based in Pennsylvania, but scientists in its laboratory in San Diego made the discovery. So we have an algorithm which we designed, and we put the DNA sequence into our algorithm and came up with the vaccine in that short amount of time. Invonio's research and development director, Dr. Trevor Smith, told Cooey. Here's the thing. I hope it's that simple. Because if it's literally like, okay, here's the puzzle, here's what you're going to use to treat it, that means modern medicine has skyrocketed. Like, we are just at a higher level than I think people even really thought possible, maybe even 10, 20 years ago. On the other side of this, I have heard some folks say that if we were to entertain the idea that this was a weaponized agent or something, there's a good chance we'd see a vaccine with about 3 months. This is falling with that timetable, so this does give me concern. Here's the thing. Also, is it going to work? Have we tested on anybody? Do we know this is actually going to work? Is there a potential side effect? So that's the thing. When you go through these protocols, I mean, if we can literally just get a virus sample, sequence its genetics, and then just literally just bring out a cure, that would be fucking amazing. I mean, that just means modern medicine is just completely leveled up. So, hey, here's hoping for that. I just want to give you folks a real quick wrap up, and take care, everyone. Peace.